Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Bob the Canadian here, Friday morning live stream again. Today, we're going to be looking at 10 more English sayings, things that we tend to say all the time. I'm just going to do a quick sound check here in a minute. Looks like everything's working right. So before we start though, there was a question that came to me via Facebook. Someone asked about last week's live stream. They said, do you really say these things? Or are these English sayings that you sometimes read in an old book? And the sayings that I taught last week and the sayings that I'm going to look at this week are all used quite regularly in English speech. The word we use to describe English is it's a flowery language. We tend to describe things in mini stories all the time. So we have idioms, we have sayings, we have proverbs, and all those kinds of things. Just going to stop to say hello. A lot of the names have scrolled past, and I said hello to you in chat already, but hello Misha and Kanda, hello Vinicius, hello Dark Blue, thanks for the postcard, and hello to everyone else who's watching. So again, 10 more English sayings. And you will hear these. You will hear these sayings in regular English speech. You won't hear them a lot. Maybe you'll hear one or two a day, if that. But you will hear these definitely in regular English speech. Definitely if you're watching movies and television, you'll hear these as well. So let's get started. This first one I like a lot. The first one is, a fool and his money are soon parted. So this is something that we say to talk about someone who spends their money without thinking. So someone who goes to the store to buy milk, and maybe they come home with a chocolate bar, something that they found in the toy aisle, or other things that they weren't planning to buy. So a fool and his money are soon parted refers to the fact that a fool, who's someone who doesn't really think a lot about things before they do it, a fool, if he has money, tends to spend all of it. So a fool and his money are soon parted. The next one is, hi Rita, hi Shulin, hi Cherwin, hi Mohammed. There's lots of people watching today. There's 34 already. Don't forget to click like. The next saying I have is, put your best foot forward. We use this saying whenever you're starting something new. So to put your best foot forward, I don't know if your best foot is your left foot or right foot, but it doesn't actually mean feet at all. To put your best foot forward is to give your best effort. So a good example would be if someone is starting a new job, one of the words of advice you would give to them is put your best foot forward, which means from day one, from the very beginning, do your best. So put your best foot forward. My best foot, I think, is my right foot, if I was to pick one. This one, I have no idea what the history of this saying is, fit as a fiddle. So a fiddle is like a violin. It's like the musical instrument that you play like this. We call it a violin. We also call it a fiddle. So I don't know exactly why we have this saying, but fit as a fiddle means to be really healthy, to be in really good shape, have good muscles and have good cardiovascular endurance. That means that you can run really far without getting tired or being out of breath. So fit as a fiddle just means to be in top shape, to be in really good healthy form. Fit as a fiddle. My son just started playing the violin. It's going pretty good. It sounds kind of fun to hear music coming out of his room. Next one. I'm just going to say hi to Baboy, Misha. I think maybe I said hi to Reed already, and Shima. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Next one is you reap what you sow. So there's a couple words in here you might not know. To reap is the same as to harvest. So when you pick all the apples off the tree at the end of the growing season, that's to reap. And then to sow is to plant or to put seeds in the ground. So if you have a garden, you would sow seeds in the spring and you would reap or harvest your crop later. What this saying means, though, is that basically the way you treat people is how they are going to treat you. So if I am kind to people, if I am nice to people, they will be kind and they will be nice to me. So it's encouraging people to be nice to each other, but it means the opposite as well. Well, it doesn't mean the opposite, but it can have the opposite effect. If you are mean to people, if you don't treat people well, they are probably not going to treat you well. So you reap what you sow. That's a pretty wise one, I think. The next one is don't bite off more than you can chew. So literally, this would mean if you were eating a candy bar, you don't want to bite off so much of it that you have trouble chewing it. But that's what it means literally. But what it really means is don't try to do something that you're not capable of doing. So for instance, maybe you know how to drive a car, but you don't know how to drive a big truck. So if you were to try to drive a big truck without training, you would have bitten off more than you can chew. It can also mean, don't agree to do something if you're not able to do it. So let's say you agree that you're going to finish a big job for your boss at work, but you actually aren't capable of doing it. Then you've bitten off more than you can chew. So don't bite off more than you can chew. Hi Dean, hi Suritat, hi Wenli. How are you guys doing? I'm having trouble with my papers here, just a sec. Next one. Oh, by the way, I said I was going to do 10 English sayings. I'm going to actually do 12. There's extra two. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So this doesn't have anything to do with going on a trip. It has to do with if you are working on a problem or you're trying to finish a project and you know that there's going to be some problems along the way, small problems. You want to solve the problems as they come. You don't want to think about something that's way in the future. So you'll say, oh, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So let's say you and your brother are going to open a little store, and your brother says, well, we'll need to buy some things to sell in the store. And you say, what color should we paint the store? He could reply by saying, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, which means he thinks it's more important to figure out where you're going to be getting product from instead of painting it. So it refers to if there's a series of problems that you don't need to think about the problem that's way in the future right away. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The next one is kind of a funny one too. And I know this saying exists in a lot of other languages, and it's don't make a mountain out of a molehill. And this has to do with sometimes people complain, people get upset about really small things in life. And the way they react or the way they express themselves is just way too much for the situation. So for instance, let's say my daughter, let's say she lost a candy, a small candy. She lost a small candy. But let's say she's crying and rolling around on the floor and just totally upset because she lost a small candy. Well, that would be making a mountain out of a molehill. So a mountain is an enormous hill, rock, mountain, you know, you climb a mountain. And a molehill is like a small little hill in your yard. There's actually an animal called a mole, and it makes a little hill. So you don't want someone to make a mountain out of a little molehill. Next one. I think you've heard this next one before. The next one, I actually did a video, I think, on idioms. This next one is, don't put the cart before the horse. So a long time ago, we had horses and carts, and you put the horse in front of the cart, obviously, so the horse can pull the cart. But when you put the cart before the horse, it means you're doing something in the wrong order. So for instance, if you were to put your shoes on before putting your socks on, then you've put the cart before the horse. If you were to, let's say you bought new tires for a car, but you don't have a car yet, you're kind of doing things in the wrong order. And sometimes people do this when you have to work with them. You might be working with someone who you feel often puts things in the wrong order. So they're putting the cart before the horse. So don't put the cart in front of the horse, put the cart behind the horse where it belongs, so that you can move along smoothly whatever you're working on. So hopefully that made sense. I don't think I explained that one that well. A long time ago, I guess, it would have made more sense. This one's kind of like a message of hope. So every cloud, so clouds are the big white things up in the sky. Every cloud has a silver lining. So a silver lining is like an adornment or something that makes something better. Like if a piece of clothing had a silver lining, it would be like a really rich, cool piece of clothing if it was lined with silver or gold. So when we say every cloud has a silver lining, this actually refers to when something bad happens in your life. You can look, even though something bad has happened, there might be a silver lining. There might be some good in it. So for instance, maybe you had a really old car and you went off the road and hit a tree, and the car is completely damaged. Maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe someone crossed in front of you. So you've accidentally smashed up your car, and the insurance company pays you for it. And you could say that every cloud has a silver lining because maybe the car was so old you needed a new car anyways. That's kind of a good example. Another saying we say is that whenever a door closes, a window opens. So that's another saying for, if something bad happens in your life, there might be some good to it. Maybe you've lost your job, and maybe the cloud, the bad part, is that I guess this refers to dark clouds, not the nice white ones, but dark, stormy clouds. Maybe the cloud is that you've lost your job, but the silver lining is that there's actually a better job waiting for you somewhere. So every cloud has a silver lining. Few more here, just let me get a drink. In one ear, in one ear and out the other. I don't know if you've ever dealt with young children, but in one ear and out the other. This means when you tell someone something and they don't listen. So what's happened is you've said, please do this, please do something, and it goes in one ear, and instead of them thinking about it, it goes right through and out the other ear. So this basically means that someone is not understanding what you're saying to them. So in one ear and out the other. I'm sure you have this saying in your language, in one ear, in one ear and out the other. We often say this about teenagers, adolescents, that You say something to them, and it just, they don't do what you say. It just goes in one ear and goes out the other. That's one of my favorites, I think. Okay, so we have two more, because I have a couple bonus ones. This is a good one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You could also say isn't. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. Ain't is a little bit of slang. But when you say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you probably know someone who's always trying to fix things, even though they're not broken. And sometimes when they try to fix it, it makes it worse. So that's kind of the literal translation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if the thing is working, don't try to make it better. But it really refers to, especially in business, if you're doing something at your place of work and it's working really well, sometimes someone might suggest that you change how you're doing it. And a good question to say is, well, hey, is something broken here? Is the system for manufacturing boxes, for instance, is there something wrong with it? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The last one, it's better to be safe than sorry. So probably the best way to describe this one would be, in a car, you have a seatbelt, right? You get in the car and you put your seatbelt on and you click it. You put your seatbelt on because even though it might be uncomfortable, it's better to be safe than sorry. So for instance, if you didn't put your seatbelt on and you got in a bad accident, you would be sorry that you didn't put the seatbelt on. You'd be like, I should have put the seatbelt on. So oftentimes we say it's better to be safe than sorry. Maybe in your backyard you have a small fire for cooking some food, and at the end of the night you get water and you put the fire out and you make sure that the fire is not burning anymore. The fire would have burned out by itself if you just left it, but sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry, because you wouldn't want that fire to accidentally burn down something else. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So Dreamy Tang says, is it like painting superfluous feet for a snake? That word's hard for me to say. But yes, those are, I imagine that you have your own sayings in your own languages, and I would love to hear some of them. You could put them in the comments below. You can put them in the super chat as well. But I just wanted to say thanks again for watching this live stream. We hit 50 people today. That's actually, I'm starting to get nervous. When there was only 3 or 4 of you, it seemed like it was a little easier to do, but I'm going to keep doing them. I just wanted to mention, if you haven't seen my video from this past Tuesday, go and watch it. In that video, I kind of give you a plan for 2019, some things that you can do to kind of continue to help your English. Misha asks, how's it going? It's going really well. I feel good. I just finished, I just had a 2-week break from work. So that's really nice. I had lots of time to rest and to think about other things that we could do. And then Vinicius says that you have similar sayings. Yeah, so I speak French as well, and it's kind of cool to see sometimes the saying is different, but the meaning is the same. So they'll say something slightly different, but it's really the same meaning in the end. So. And let's see, Mohammed says, very nice sayings. I posted some of them on Facebook. Yes, excellent, Mohammed. Spread the word. And Dreamy Tang says he's watched my other video, and it was really good, so thank you. And Doreen, hello, how are you? And I just want to say thanks again for watching. I know some of you have a whole day ahead of you if you're in North America. I know if you're in Europe, you're almost done your day. It's probably a little bit after lunch, mid-afternoon. And if you're further out, if you're out in China, Japan, you're probably just wrapping up your day. So have a great weekend. Bob the Canadian here. Learn English with Bob the Canadian. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet, although I'm pretty sure everyone who watches these are a subscriber. I got some time. If you have any questions, I'll wait a minute or two. Put them in the chat. and I'll answer them. But if no one has questions, I'll probably be wrapping this up. While I'm waiting to see if there's questions, I'll tell you this: we're in Canada, and there's still no snow. So it was below zero. If you watched my short little video lesson the other day, it was below zero a couple of days ago. But today it's 5 degrees Celsius and there's no snow. And you know, I really like snow. I wish it would snow sometime soon. Anyways, thanks again for watching. There was 54 people at one point. What should I do? Just pretend there's only 4 of you. That will make me feel better. No, that's okay. I really appreciate it. It's awesome for all of you to attend this small class that I do on Fridays. I'll see you next Friday morning. Don't forget that next Tuesday morning there will be a new video. And down in the comments, or sorry, down in the description of this video, there is, let me double check that, there is a link to my other channel. No, it's not in there. I'll put it in there later. But I do have another channel called Really Short English Lessons. Check that out if you want a daily 45-second English lesson. But Bob the Canadian, thank you so much for watching in. Thanks for all of the chats, and I just hope that you have a really, really, really good